because I think what a lot of people are missing is there is so much inventory stacking up 2x the median. It's almost getting comical, right? And again, if you go 2x the median, like Orange County or 2.5 million, you're going to see some discounts of $500,000. Oh my God, this estate was listed at 2.7 and it sold for $2 million, $700,000 off. A crash is here. No, you moron. You just yanked the median price higher because you sold a $2 million home. Folks, according to Redfin, the housing market has clearly flipped. We have gone from a market that has dominated by demand, i.e. a seller's market, to one that now is dominated by sellers, meaning it is a buyer's market. We're actually going to pull up the chart in a minute from Redfin to make sure everybody understands what we're talking about. But at the end of the day, I want to ask these guys, what the heck does it mean? Does this mean that the housing crash has started, that prices will only go down and go down everywhere? As always, we welcome them how they joined. And Matt, you were here first today. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
Awesome. And Dion, how are you?
I'm doing great. I really love this topic. I like it when we take a known data point like Redfin or Zillow or one of the ones that have a whole mountain of information, and they put out scary headlines for us to tear apart.
There you go. Well, also, let's get Sunday ironed out. Now, we were going to do a session last week, but some family matters came up. No problem.
Yes.
But now we are confirmed. Dion, you are confirmed for 2 hours on Sunday. And Matt, we've got you for that first hour. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's bring.
I would like to apologize for missing last week. That was it was fun. My brother went to the hospital and they decided he is a relationship, so they wanted to turn him off and turn him back on again. And they reset his heart 3 times, and he says he's doing great. So
okay, wow,
friggin' topper.
Yeah.
I keep telling him they should have installed software and given him a new personality, but I don't think it's stuck.
It didn't stay. It didn't save. It didn't go back to the save point. There you go. Well, let's bring up the report. Let's see if I can get this technology to work. Because again, I think the chart, and I'm going to ask Lance Lambert how the heck they built this. That's definitely something I'm asking him tomorrow. But there it is. Share. Gentlemen, can you see that?
I can.
Awesome. So basically, again, we're just looking at the chart. You can go to Redfin's website. You can see it up there at the top. They are now saying, the red line, there are 1.943 million sellers and only 1.4 million buyers. I do not know how they do this math. Sellers seems kind of easy, right? Look at listings. I'm not sure how I'm not sure how they calculate buyers, but let's just assume this is true because frankly, it feels right. There are more sellers than buyers. Matt, you haven't seen this. You've been busy all week. What's the first gut reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I think for certain price points, I think that's absolutely accurate. You know, talk to my agents all the time, talk to the banks all the time. Loan activity is still pretty decent. And so they're still staying pretty busy. All the contractors I talk to, they're still a couple, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out on most projects. Talking to all the agents that I talk to, which is about a dozen or so, they're all saying pretty much the same thing, but I look at the big producers, not the loser clowns at the bottom. Like if I'm talking to you, you're somebody that does at least 50 transactions a year.
Okay.
You know, like you're a busy agent.
Right.
And so the guys that are, the agents that are busy, what they're saying is basically median below is still flying off the shelves. Because there's just not, you look at supply and supply is mostly above median supply wise right now. Mm-hmm. So there's a disconnect or there's a dislocation in the market because most of what's on market is above median price.
Yeah, that one might call that a broken housing market. I wonder who called
that. Yeah, you might call it that. And so what they are saying is, you know, that there's plenty of stuff kind of in our area. The median is around 420 to 440. And there's a lot of stuff over 500 that's on the market and sitting there. But anything that's like sub 400, it moves pretty quick. And they said, you know, it's literally you walk. And so the goal is he's like, I convince people, hey, instead of 425 or 450, let's do it at 399 and trust the process. And he said, you know, and I look out the front door and I've got 17 cars waiting to get in.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, you got to work with the agents that know the market, adapt. We talk with Adrian, Beth all the time in Seattle, Orange County, and pretty much the same thing. We've been hearing all year. We've been reporting on this channel. Median and below move-in condition. Let's add that criteria.
Yes.
Flying off the shelf. 2x the median stacking. Again, Orange County, Adrian told me weeks ago, it's approaching 300 days, 2x the median. I'm like, guys, this 1.9 million sellers and 1.4 million buyers is the broken housing market. Because again, you got more sellers of luxury and the buyers just can't qualify, or if they can, they're just not interested. They want to keep their cash. Dion, what do you think? What do you think of when you look at this chart?
So we're giving the premise, we're assuming this is accurate, right?
Yeah, we're going to assume this is accurate. I'm going to ask Lance how the math works, but yeah.
Right. The idea that we know how many properties are listed. Sure. The idea that we know how many people are thinking about buying, I don't know that data can be trusted, but we're going to assume that it is. So the first thing that I would go over is real estate's local.
Yep.
Right. What's going on in your market is what matters. And the inventory isn't what hits prices the way people think. It's like that. You brought this up in your daily financial update yesterday. And even some people that we like were saying, when interest rates go up 1%, home prices have to come down 10%. That's one of the things that that can be debunked by the housing crash that never happened. Inventory doesn't make prices come down. Forced sellers does. So I've got a couple trips coming up. I'm not actively searching for my next property until these trips are done, and then I'm going to spend like 3-4 months digging in deep to my market, and then I'll start hunting for that next actual purchase, because I haven't been actively looking for a while. I want to know my market again.
Yep.
And so I reached out to the agents that I work with, and I said, hey, let's get those auto searches set up so I can just kind of casually start the stream. For 2 months from now is when I'm going to dive into it. And there is a lot of inventory in my market, which is local, and it is all crap. There is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath across the street from me listed for $950,000, where I purchased mine for $4 and it needed some work. So it's probably a couple $100,000 high. And I think that's the inventory.
Yeah, probably.
People saying, let's just list it at these high amounts. That doesn't mean it's going to sell. And then we're going to see, it's a crash because look how much prices have come down. No, they put up a stupid price and then adjusted it to what was more realistic, or didn't, and it never sold.
Yeah, I think there's so many things in this. And again, the crash bros are all over this chart that Redfin is basically saying the housing crash has started. But again, if you step back and you really look at it, Matt, you brought up point number 1. You got to look at the mix. Yeah. The mix is clearly skewed higher. And you know what's crazy about the mix is you could actually have price discounts and have the median price go higher. That's just how math works, right?
Absolutely. It's true. That is how math works.
That's how math works. And then Dion, you're absolutely right. What I am seeing is that below the median, or houses that are move-in condition and whatnot are selling. But there's a lot of what I've been telling people for years is called wish pricing. Yeah. Right. A 900-1 in a market where you got a duplex for whatever it was, 400. That's just wish pricing. Now, here's a couple of things that will happen. That seller who is not motivated will keep it at 900 and just wait out the listing contract, which might be 6 months. Or they're going to wait out 30, 45 days and they'll have a price cut. Because inside that 900 is going to be no activity, no showings, no offers. And we're going to figure out if they're motivated, slightly motivated, or not motivated at all. So what we're seeing in these numbers, the 1.9 million sellers, is we, without question, have wish pricing. The question people have to ask themselves is how much? Is it 5% of my market? Is it 10% of my market? Is it 25% of my market? It is some non-zero number. And then you all need to be looking at your buy box and asking yourself, what percent of active listings in my area are below the median? What is above the median? And then what is 2x the median? Because I think what a lot of people are missing is there are so much inventory stacking up 2x the median. It's almost getting comical. Right. And again, if you go 2x the median, like Orange County, or 2.5 million, you're going to see some discounts of $500,000. Oh my God, this estate was listed at 2.7 and it sold for $2 million. $700,000 off. A crash is here. No, you moron. You just yanked the median price higher because you sold a $2 million home.
Well, and even worse was they bought the thing 2 years ago for $1.6 million.
Exactly. So they're still in the money.
Yeah, they're still making money, which is the funniest part, because in my market, and this is where we talk about assets all the time, right, Mike? You know, where we talk about, hey, what are the different assets that we're looking at within the same market? Because maybe single families don't work, but maybe dupes, tris, and quads do. Maybe fiveplexes, that's all that works. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe only commercial works, but that's what we're talking about it. So interestingly enough, in May, we set the record again for highest price duplex.
Wow.
In the area. We also set the record for the highest price quadplex in the area. So I would say, you know, glass half full, glass empty. I think it's amazing because the one asset, you know, that I'm really been pushing people for 2 years, saying, hey, this is the most undervalued asset in the market, 2s, 3s, and 4s. Keep your eyes on those.
You have.
The dislocation is there with single families. You know, a single family 3-bed, 2-bath or 3-bed, 1-bath is, you know, $450,000, but a duplex is $600 with 2 3-beds, and you're only getting a 10 or 15% discount in the rent. Guys, it's math. And so what's interesting is that even with $500,000 plus, and this is where a lot of these crash bros, this is where they show just that they're stupid and that they don't know how to actually do math, but understand markets. When you look at chart says bad. Right. But what's behind the numbers? What's behind the numbers is stuff sub-median still flying off the market, small multifamily still flying off the market and still breaking records, which is then translating into higher rents. And somebody just paid $600,000 for a duplex.
Wow.
They're going to live in a 2-bedroom side. They're going to rent out the 3-bedroom side is currently rented for $1,600. Are they going to live there in 60 days? No freaking way are they going to still be there in 60 days, because that guy's not taking the note for $3,200 a month to live in a 2-bedroom. He's going to get the 3-unit out. He's going to get it up. He's going to clean it up, and he's going to get up to market rent. And so it's going to be $2,700. So there goes another affordable unit. And why did that happen? Not because somebody's a landlord and a jerk. That happened because that's the market, kids.
That's the
market. That's what it's sold for. So I think that people need to stop being so dismissive of their market. And to Dion's point, it's 1,000%. This is hyper local. I look at these charts and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting trend. Don't care much after that, because I'm seeing what I'm seeing in my market. I'm talking to all the market movers in my market. And
you see the field in front of you, not
of course. Right? Yeah. I mean, then that's the thing is, you know, Nick Gurley can say how much the market's crashing, and all of these boneheads, this is how much it's crashing. And all I do is write and cash bigger checks. So thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm starting to love the crash bros, because they're going to keep more and more people away, keep more and more people afraid. And again, I want less competition. So at the end of the day, more and more people should watch their channels, because it reduces our competition.
It does.
But don't get it twisted. A lot of those guys have actually gone out and bought homes, which I always thought is it's kind of disingenuous, if you know what I mean. Let's go build a YouTube channel based on fear. Let's tell people housing crashes are coming. But oh, by the way, we're buying homes, which is just, I don't know, uncool to me. But anyways, who cares?
He scared people into making him rich.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's hella, yeah. Well done, guys. But Dion, let's play it on the field, right? You're telling us you're going to go shopping. You've got to be ecstatic by this chart from Redfin, because again, it means you have less competition, you have more supply, and as you proved with your duplex, you chased it down, you followed up. You took a $500,000 listed property, bought it for $4 million, turned it into $1 million. You've got to be ecstatic to do this again.
Well, I'm probably not as happy as Nick's parents getting him out of the basement, but I am so the way I'm looking at this is based on the assumption that this data is accurate. I am ecstatic, because when I go to hunt for the property, it isn't so much how many properties are for sale, but it's compared to how many properties are for sale, how much competition do I have? And you both nailed it with less competition. If there are less buyers and there's more properties listed, that doesn't mean it's going to be easier for me to find deals. What it means, and I'm going to have this conversation with the agents that I work with, I'm going to make shotgun list, offers.
Yep.
You're probably going to get 20 offers from me a week. Once I'm talking 3 months into studying the market, I'll start making 20 offers a week. My agents know they'll do 20 offers for me. It's 5-10 minutes worth of work, check the boxes, make sure everything's in the right order, and then make the offers. They'll expect one to get accepted after a couple of weeks, probably. I think I'll make many offers before anybody looks at mine and goes, well, why would I take that off? Well, it's the only offer they're getting if there's not that many buyers. But that's just the first half. The second half that I'm actually really excited about, as the pendulum swings towards that buyer's market, whether we're there or with the pendulum's straight up and down right now, I have more negotiation power. Because if I get under contract, I won't get all emotionally invested into that property. This is a deal worth pursuing. This is a number that made sense for me. But I've got these other 19 offers out there. And when I go, I want this done, or I want this price adjustment, or I found this out in an inspection, so this is the negotiation tool I'm using. And they go, well, we're not going to acquiesce to that. I'm like, okay, cool. Cancel. We're in my review period. I'm out of here and on to the next one. So I'll have more deals with less competition, and I'll have stronger negotiation. And the person with the ability to walk away has the power.
Absolutely right. Guys, at the end of the day, as investors, which is what we talk to here at One Rental at a Time, never, never, never forget. You want less competition. Thank you, Crash Bros. You want more inventory. Thank you, Crash Bros. And you want more motivated sellers. That is where a buyer's market comes in. And I look forward to all of you writing plenty of offers, following up plenty of times, and closing a deal of a decade, or maybe a deal of a lifetime. Matt, where can people find you?
Find me Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. When we're sitting there, we just answer your questions about the market. This Thursday, tomorrow, is my Raging Tomatoes 8-on-1 conversation, we'll call it. Please recognize that if you go to that event, you will hear cursing and swearing and massive amounts of belittling. You will hear thoughts that you can't possibly wrap your head around. So it's not for the faint of heart. I don't want Mike, and frankly, probably don't want Dion there either, because it's going to get really nasty, because it is the arena, like the Coliseum, for words. So that's tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time on the Raging Tomato. We'll be talking about how programs are being eliminated and destroying the country.
I can't wait for this. I'm gonna ask for the summary from people who do watch it, because you're right. That format does not fit my personality.
Honestly, I'm happy to do it.
Better you than me. That's so awesome.
Yes.
Dion, where can they find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom, where every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, I do a live stream that lasts as long as the questions do. And in a few weeks, you will see me on a live webinar on the Bigger Pockets platform. And when I know the date and time, I will put that information out there. And I also hear rumors that someone else will be hanging out in the Bigger Pockets sphere with me in October in Las Vegas.
Very cool.
I did. I got the head nod that One Rental at a Time will be a speaker at Bigger Pockets. I just signed their electronic thing. So yes, I will be at Bigger Pockets as well. Not just camping in the lobby, because I'm too cheap. I'm too cheap for.
I guess we'll leave that for me.
All right, guys. Don't forget, you get these fine gentlemen Sunday inside school. Sign up. It's $20 per month. If you don't like it, feel free to cancel. It's not a year-long commitment, but trust me, you want to be around these guys and pick their brains. Thank you so much. Later.
Thanks, Mike.